Yo, what's up? I'm Marcus, and here we do attorney reactions. In this video, we're going to talk about New York City Mayor Eric Adams. We talked about him for a few videos now. Let's kind of give a little recap as to what's going on. He was indicted on federal bribery charges. We actually went through the indictment. I'll link that video above. And based on the facts provided in that indictment, hey, I've been doing this for 15 years. There was sufficient evidence to indict him and likely convict him of federal bribery charges. Now, fast forward, what happened? Long story short, Eric Adams started talking a lot of pro-Trump rhetoric, and I'm gonna be honest, rightfully so. The migrant crisis was kicking his city's ass. New York City was getting beat down. He spoke out against it. Lo and behold, when he spoke out against it, that was when the indictment occurred. He said it was political targeting because he opposed the Democratic Party. I say, bro, it looked like you committed fraud and they just indicted you. However, President Trump chimed in prior to his election, and he did question the timing of how it occurred. Well, long story short, President Trump is elected. Acting U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Danielle Sassoon, took over for Damian Williams. And according to her, she was inclined to file a superseding indictment and indict Eric Adams on more charges. However, according to her, according to a meeting, Eric Adams and his attorney offered a quid pro quo that did not have adequate consideration and had some unethical boundaries attached. According to her, Adams and his attorney said that they will work with President Trump to carry out his illegal immigrant agenda in exchange for dismissal of the charges. When they leaned on acting United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Danielle Sassoon, to dismiss the charges, she refused. Her staff refused. They flew to DC to try to get the bosses to sign off, and the public corruption unit, they refused. They resigned. Well, 7 resignations later, no one really wanted to sign off on it. In light of that, let's check out these new developments and see what happened with regard to Eric Adams and his top aides.
Developments at City Hall. 4 deputy mayors submit their letters of resignation to New York City Mayor Eric Adams, including First Deputy Mayor Maria Torres Springer, who effectively manages the day-to-day operations of city government. And that is now no less than 15 top aides, advisors, and officials within the Adams administration who have stepped down in recent months as the mayor's corruption case unfolded. And this afternoon, City Council Speaker Adrian Adams is the latest official to join the growing chorus for the mayor to step down. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles, live in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, with the latest.
Okay, first and foremost, Eric Adams is not going to step down. His hubris related to his charges and how he envisioned those charges, he's not going to step down. He's going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off, even though I think there is sufficient evidence to indict him. Even though, according to Danielle Sassoon, the former United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, they were about to file a superseding indictment, hitting him up with more charges.
Darla?
Sandra, Mayor Adams was at this Brooklyn church this afternoon. He was greeted by a group of supporters who were chanting his name.
Always to the church. Whenever you do something wrong and you get a federal indictment as a politician, elected, appointed official, you make sure to tap into the Baptist church or whatever church is in your community. They all do it. Eric Adams, Marilyn Mosby, is just the political rounds that have to be made.
Eric, greeted like a rock star, people chanting 4 more years, 4 more years. This happened this afternoon just as those resignations were announced. But Mayor Adams is listening to the chants here at this church, supporting him, not listening to anyone calling for him to step down.
Let's go back. When I was indicted, y'all remember what happened? People departed. When I was indicted.
Don't he sound like Hustle Man from Martin? What's up, Chief?
People said that's the end of the administration.
With no shortage in confidence, Mayor Adams saying New York will keep moving forward after his first deputy mayor and 3 deputy mayors resigned from their posts today. This after the DOJ's decision last week to dismiss corruption charges and a meeting with Tom Homan that ended with Adams opening up Rikers to ICE agents.
They said the same thing when we were dealing with COVID, the same thing when we were dealing with migrant asylum seekers, the same thing when this case came up, that, hey, you have departures. This happens in this career.
The Adams administration has had its fair share of departures. 15 high-level officials stepping down since the fall. Maria Torres Springer, considered a stabilizing force and only in her post as first deputy mayor since October, replaced Sheena Wright. The same goes for Chauncey Parker, who replaced deputy mayor for public safety Philip Banks.
I didn't take a flag to a party.
All right.
That's right.
I took a pledge to the people of this city.
All right.
Right.
And I'm going to fight for you.
At a rally with supporters at Rehoboth Cathedral in Bed-Stuy Monday afternoon, Adams insisting he's
This is the scene. Gotta run to the black church when you got them charges around you.
never changed.
I've been consistent on saying that. And so, well, you just started saying it when the President Trump came into office. Man, go back to 2022 spring.
Hey, we got to give him credit. He been talking about how jacked up the migrant crisis was. He was actually the very first Democrat that I heard talk about it. And it probably did get him on the outs within the DNC because he was not at the Democratic National Convention, which is weird for the mayor of New York not to be there.
Of 2022, when Biden was in office, I was saying the same thing, consistent about what I'm saying and where I'm saying. And we need to be clear on that. So when people give you that fake rhetoric, we need to be strong enough to push back and say, look at the facts.
But City Council Speaker Adrian Adams calling for Adams to step down today, saying this administration no longer has the ability to effectively govern with Eric Adams as mayor. Now, regarding those resignations, Mayor Adams did issue a statement about that this afternoon, saying he is disappointed to see them leave, but understands their decision to do so. However, they're not vacating their post immediately. They will stay in place to ensure a smooth transition until their replacements are named.
Okay, so typically what happens in these situations is sometimes you just want to get away from the bad odor. You're like, yo, this shit stink over here. I need to get away from it. And I think that's what the majority of his staff is doing. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, because I'm kind of confused as to the alleged quid pro quo that was made. Okay, let's say that Danielle Sassoon is right. They had a meeting. Eric Adams and his attorney said we'll help President Trump with his migrant agenda in exchange for dismissing those charges. President Trump is transactional. That's a good thing. We all know how to deal with transactional people. If there's a deal to be made, you make the deal. That's just kind of how it goes. Even though, I do think that Eric Adams kind of was glazing Trump up a little bit because he knows that Trump is transactional. But that's not a deal that seems favorable to the president to me. We will dismiss your charges, valid indictment, facts to support it. You'll probably get convicted on it. We will not move forward on those charges in exchange for you helping with illegal migrants. No, you have an obligation to help with illegal migrants because they're illegal. And if you choose not to do so, Trump and his staff should have just named them in the lawsuit the same way they did the mayor of Chicago and all the other sanctuary cities. So I'm not sure what they got out of it. They got Eric Adams to do something that he probably should have been doing already. I don't know. I don't see what the negotiation and the art of the deal was in that personally. That's just kind of my personal take on it. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. If that was the deal, do you think that was a smart deal on Trump's side, smart deal on Adams' side? It could be a little bit of both. Adams potentially is able to get those charges out of the way. And let's just remember, those charges didn't just go away. They reserved the right to bring those charges back. And on most federal crimes, they have a 5-year statute of limitations. So I think there was a little bit of gamesmanship with agreeing to drop those charges and not pursue them, knowing that they could bring those charges back, they got a little bit of leverage that they could hold over Eric Adams' head, where he can just kind of shuck and jive and tap dance. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the content on the screen. There's going to be more attorney reactions.